This morning I rode my bike for almost 2 hours, easy zone 2, and I wrote this video on a yellow legal pad. And here's the tiny habit that has changed everything about how I train at 65. Never miss twice. If I can't do the full workout, I do the smallest version of it because I'm not protecting a schedule, I'm protecting an identity. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how that works, why it's more powerful than motivation, why it's more durable than willpower, and how it turned a setback that could have ended my race season into something that made me stronger. Stay with me. Here's what most of us do. We get inspired. A race, a reunion, a birthday that ends in 0, and we decide this is the time. We overhaul everything at once. New workout schedule, new eating plan, new bedtime, new everything. And for about 10 days, it works. And then life happens. We miss one workout. We're tired, we're busy, and before we know it, we're back at 0, telling ourselves we'll start again Monday. The overhaul doesn't fail because you're not disciplined enough. It fails because it depends on willpower, and willpower is a finite resource. By evening, when temptation is highest and resistance is lowest, it's completely spent. And motivation, it shows up when things are exciting and new. It disappears exactly when you need it most. But here's what nobody tells you, and this is the part that changes everything. In a minute, I'll show you what actually replaces willpower, and it's not what you think. Never miss twice is a rule, not a feeling. It means 1 miss is human, 2 misses is a pattern, and the pattern is what you're protecting against. Here's why it works when everything else doesn't. It removes the all or nothing trap. You don't need a perfect week. You just need to never let one bad day become 2. But never miss twice only works if you have a minimum. Something so small you can almost always do it. On the bad days, the busy days, the I have nothing left days, that minimum is what I call your minimum viable workout. For me right now, it's this: 10 minutes of movement. That's it. Walk, mobility, 10 minutes on the bike, a short strength circuit, 10 minutes, non-negotiable. On the days when I can do more, I do more. On the days when I can't, 10 minutes. I show up. I keep the promise. And that promise is where the identity lives. Because here's what's really happening when you do this. You're building evidence. Every time you keep that promise, even the tiny version, you're telling yourself, I'm the kind of woman who shows up. And the more evidence you gather, the more that identity takes hold. You stop being someone who's trying to work out. You become someone who moves. Those are not the same thing. Let me make this concrete, because I think the best way to understand never miss twice is to see what it looks like in the real world, not in theory. Good day, which is most days, my alarm goes off, I look at what TriDot has on the calendar, and I do it. Not because I feel like it, not because I slept perfectly, because it's on the plan, and I'm the kind of woman who does the plan. This week I have over 17 hours of training scheduled in preparation for Ironman Texas. That's not motivation, that's identity. I show up because that's who I am now. And real life, here's where it gets interesting, because life doesn't always cooperate with the calendar. Yesterday, my husband and I drove all day. I knew that was coming, so I rearranged the week, moved workouts around, adjusted the schedule. The bike ride that was supposed to be yesterday, it's on today's menu. That's not missing, that's managing. And there's an important rule I follow. Workouts live in the week they belong to. I can move things around within a week, but I don't carry them forward. What doesn't fit in the week stays in that week. But sometimes something unexpected hits that you couldn't have planned around. And if that happens, especially if you're still building this habit, The answer isn't to skip, it's to scale. 10 minutes, a walk, the smallest version of a workout that still lets you say, I showed up today. I learned this the hard way, recovering from a car accident last year. My body needed time. My fitness took a hit. But here's what I held on to. The point is never the workout. The point is, I am still the athlete. I'm still the woman who shows up. That identity is not injured. That identity does not need physical therapy. It just needs me to show up in whatever way I can today. That's what Never Miss Twice protected. Not my race time, my identity. Here's what I want you to do right now before we go any further. I've built a free resource around this exact idea, and it's called the 3-Day Expansion Quick Start. In 3 days, 10 minutes a day, you'll do what I just described. Day 1, make one promise to your body and keep it. Day 2, claim an aspirational identity. Athlete, triathlete, whatever makes you a little uncomfortable, and do one thing that proves it. And day 3, pick one area where you're ready to stop shrinking and take one visible action. By the end of day 3, you'll have a 1-sentence identity statement and a personal minimum standard for the days when everything falls apart. It's free. Link is in the description. Grab it now or after the video. It'll be there. Okay, I want to go a little deeper on something because I think this is where most habit advice gets it wrong. Most habit systems focus on behaviors. Do this at this time, attach it to this trigger, use this reward, and that works for a while. But behaviors can always be argued with. You can always negotiate your way out of a behavior. Identity is harder to argue with. When you say, I work out 3 times a week, that's a behavior. You can skip it. When you say, I am an athlete, that's who you are. Skipping doesn't just break a habit, it breaks a promise to yourself about who you are. This is why the language matters. When you finish your 10-minute minimum on the worst day of your week, you don't say, well, that was barely anything. You say, I showed up. I'm the kind of woman who shows up. And here's what happens over time. The behaviors that used to tempt you start to lose their pull. Not because you've white-knuckled your way past them, but because they genuinely stop fitting who you're becoming. You don't fight the pull of the couch, you just stop being the person who needs it. The habits stack, the momentum builds, setbacks become blips, not because they don't hurt, but because your identity is stronger than the setback. And in a second, I'm going to give you the one-line identity statement that makes this stick, because without this piece, the habits won't hold. Here's the identity statement that anchors all of this. I want you to fill in the blank. I am a woman who blank, even on the hard days. For me, it's I'm a woman who moves, even on the hard days. That's it. Write it down. Put it somewhere you'll see it. Say it out loud, because the woman you're becoming, the athlete, the leader, the person who refuses to shrink, she needs to hear it from you, especially on the days when it doesn't feel true yet. I turned 65 last year, and I'm not slowing down. I'm not taking up less space. I'm not becoming a used to be. You know, I used to be, as in I used to be strong, used to be fast, used to be able to do that. That is not my story. And if you're watching this, I don't think it's yours either. Ordinary days build extraordinary lives, not the dramatic overhauls, not the perfect weeks, the ordinary Tuesday when you lace up your shoes even though you don't feel like it, the ordinary morning when 10 minutes was all life gave you and you took it. That Tuesday, that morning, that's where expansion lives. If this landed for you, get the 3-day expansion quick start. It's free, it's in the description, and it will walk you through the exact 3 steps to anchor Never Miss Twice into your actual life. your promise, your identity statement, your minimum standard. And if you want to take it a step further, comment expand below and I'll reply with my minimum viable workout list, the actual 10-minute options I use on my worst days. This is how we do it, not in dramatic leaps, in ordinary, intentional daily choices, stacked on top of each other until one day you look up and realize, I'm not who I used to be. I'm who I chose to become. I'll see you in the next video.